Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Mikos. And hi, everybody else. Thanks for being here. Oh, you're purple. That's cool. Everybody get your colors on the chart. Get ready for the day. I hope everybody's doing well. I have a pretty hot coffee, still foamy, so that's good. I want to thank Lucy Rose for all the tips always, but I just very much appreciate it. And today we'll be watching some of her lovely curated court. So we are going to watch a few different hearings from two different courts today, and then we also have members only coming up. I've already scheduled it. That way we can't be late. We can't not do it. It's scheduled. It's happening. Yeah. How has everybody's weekend been so far? It's Sunday, April 13th. I was going to wear my Florida hat, but I realized I looked like I was cosplaying as an American with the Coca-Cola shirt and the hat. So I removed what I thought was the more sensible of the two, but perhaps I was wrong. Anyways, the lawn was mowed and ready for the week. I love it. I'm only thinking that you're talking about your indoor lawn, but I'm probably positive you're talking about literally your lawn. But I'm gonna think that you mean shaving. Okay, so, hi Carol. Did you get a new, picture? Did you get a new picture? Which one are we gonna do first? I think we'll do that one first, okay. Oh no, it's this one. Sorry, I'm just talking over here to myself. I think it's right about here. Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second, indeed. Shut the fuck up, Paisley. Oh, please. Members only setup, sort of like that. Make it big and cover that. Alright, yeah, that should do it, ish.
Tell my ride that I won't be going.
That wouldn't be really a reason for you to not comply with the 3 cents report. I have concerns based on, you being late here today. Things just have not gone well since you entered the plea. I think for the sake of getting this matter to sentencing, for the sake of making sure that you comply with 3 sentence process, the court is going to revoke your bond, or it's going to order that you be.
Oh my gosh, so I didn't check this first, and I was trying to get to 46 minutes. So I pulled it to 44:40, and we got some dude getting his bond revoked. Why are we sleeping on that? I have questions. That's fucked. Bro, he was late, and then, I don't know. Otsego County. You'll have to look that up. I can't recognize the flag behind him.
Be taken into custody here today. Ms. Davis, if you can inform Mr. Vernical that Mr. O'Neill will be in jail. We'll have the report prepared. The court will set this for sentencing at the next available date. Look forward at that time. Mr. Roll, anything further on this?
Thank you.
Mr. Church.
I just asked court to set it at the next available date.
Okay. So Mr. O'Neill, I'm going to have to go with the officers at this time.
Hey, tell my ride that I won't be coming.
The officers will have to take care of that.
Oh, this is sort of sad. I was looking for juicy assholes. Oh, that sounds gross. I meant like that Scooter. As soon as I said that, I knew it sounded fucking
Mr.
gross.
Shane, present.
Like
Yes, Your Honor.
jerks
Shane, if you'll
in
come
court.
forward, please.
Yeah, this is the case. I can't believe I just.
Hey, Ms. Metowski, can you unmute for a second?
Good morning.
Good morning. You're here for the, I'm sorry, the Sean DeShane matter, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to mute you for the moment. There'll be a point during the hearing when you have an opportunity to address the court, and I'll let you know when that time is, but otherwise you're free to remain connected until then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And then, is it Miss Ange, or how do we pronounce your last name?
Carrie Angie.
Angie, okay. Miss Angie, you're here on behalf of the state, is that correct?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so we're on the record in People versus John DeShane, file number 26723. The record should reflect Mr. DeShane's present here in the courtroom today. If I can have your appearances on, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Richard Trush, appearing on behalf of Mr. DeShane.
Carrie Angie on behalf of the Attorney General's office.
Okay, this is the date and time set for a sentencing hearing in this matter. Mr. DeShane, have you had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report and talk to Mr. Trush about that?
I have not, but I did hear about it briefly from my probation officer.
Okay, you have the right to have a chance to go through that with him before sentencing. Do you want to have a chance to do that this morning before we go forward?
I don't see how it'll change the outcome.
Okay.
So yes,
Well, you understand you do have the right, and I would take a break here for you to be able to go through that with Mr. Trush.
I will. I mean,
Well, I'm going to ask you some specific questions here. Do you understand that you have that right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Did you want to exercise that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Metowski and Ms. Angie, I'm just going to ask that you remain on the line for a couple minutes. I'm going to give Mr. DeShane an opportunity to go through the PSI with his client. I'm going to keep you in this Zoom waiting room, but just on hold. And once we're ready, I'll bring you back in. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll go off the record for about 10 minutes.
All rise, please.
Oh, they were saying all rise to leave. Did you see how confused I was, Bob? Because I thought that literally I was like, did they just cut that? And because I was rolling a joint and then I looked up and I saw and I heard him say all rise. And I thought that they had like literally cut it. But no. No. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Bob. Lisa B. Welcome all, says Vicky.
All right, we've got everybody back connected. We're back on the record in People versus DeShane. Mr. DeShane, had you had an adequate opportunity to go through that report with Mr. Church?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Trush, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
Any challenges to the scoring?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rolla, do the people have any additions, or I'm sorry, Miss Angie, do the people have any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
And any challenges to the scoring of the guidelines?
No, Judge.
I know we do have Miss Metelsky. Miss Metelsky, if you can unmute at this time. Miss Metelsky, you do have the right to make a statement here today for purposes of sentencing. Did you want to make a statement?
If I could, yes, please.
Okay, and first of all, can you just tell me your first and last name and spell both for the record?
Megan Metelsky, MEGANMATELSKI.
Okay, and can you tell me your relationship to this case?
Sean and I have two children together. One is my daughter will be 20 and my son will be 18 in July.
All right, and the subject of this matter is a failure to pay child support, so you would have been the payee, in other words, the person who should have received the money on
Yes,
behalf of your children.
yes.
Okay, what is it that you would like to say here to the court today?
After almost 20 years, I just feel like disappointed, I guess. Our son, when he was born, he had a lot of medical issues we're still contending with, and he's going to be 17. That's cost like a lot of money over the years. And Sean has never, ever thought of like how much stress and how you can't go to work and anything to do with the child, I guess, at this point. Our daughter started college. She's actually graduating this year with her associate's degree. I'm helping her through college. My son plans to go to college next year. I mean, it's a lot of money and he just never has to pay anything, but it would be great if he could start helping pay back what he owes so I can help them for their future.
All right, thank you. Was there anything else that you wanted the court to know today?
Nope, that'll do. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Miss Angie, anything on behalf of the people for allocution?
Just briefly, Your Honor, when this information was drafted, the arrears were $22,297.53. That was on October 6th of 2022. The arrears as of March 13th, which was Friday, are $25,467.62. So as you can see, the arrears have not only not gone down, but they've grown in excess of $3,000. The case charges at a measly $177 a month. Looking back over the payment records, I can see giant gaps where years went by without any kind of a payment whatsoever, which is discouraging enough on its face, but then to hear Miss Metelsky appear here this morning and describe the medical challenges that her son has had since his birth, it really becomes astounding that this defendant couldn't simply scrape together $177 a month to help her deal with those struggles and support his own children. The guidelines I see here are 10 to 34. I see that this defendant has 10 prior felonies and 9 prior misdemeanors, many of which are assaultive, many of which include breaking and entering buildings with intent. These are serious high-level felonies, and the guidelines of 10 to 34 somewhat speak to that, I think. Now, the recommendation is for a mere 2 years of probation with a 12-month jail sentence to be held in abeyance. I'm not certain that that's appropriate. It would be a different story if there was an income withholding notice that had been entered in this matter and the defendant had actually gotten a job during the pendency of this case and could tell the court, I have a job now and I'm paying toward these arrears. Now, he has made some payments of late. I certainly don't want to mislead the court. He made a couple payments in February, one payment in January, and then we're going back to October. Like I said, it would be nice if there were an income withholding notice on file so that Ms. Metelsky could be assured of some possible way to be paid money that she has paid to support her children for the past 18 years. So I'm not sure if the court wants to consider a jail sentence. Oh, and I forgot to add that there are current active warrants for this defendant's arrests on 2 other cases, and that he's on probation for other misdemeanors, and operating while intoxicated second, and of fleeing and eluding the police when all this started to happen and as we speak. I think all of that's a pretty heavy load for this court to consider. And at this point, I think I would advocate for some time in jail in lieu of the 12 months in abeyance that probation is recommending. And I would ask for a jail term to be followed by 2 or 3 years of probation. Also, one final thing, I'd ask for the court to add into the conditions, probationary conditions, that restitution be paid in the amount of $25,467.62 at a reasonable monthly rate. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Church.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I mean, as far as the restitution amount, again, I think it is listed in here. Again, I think it is slightly less listed in the report than what's reported today. Obviously, whatever friend of the court determines that to be is what it is. We don't have any dispute of that. I would strongly advocate against imposing upfront jail here. I certainly can understand the prosecutor's position in terms of an income withholding. I don't know that that's feasible in the scenario where Mr. Duchesne is self-employed. He does construction type work. He does remodeling in homes, tile work, that kind of stuff, flooring. It's not the type of business I think that an income withholding is.
Who the fuck wants a 10-time felon who's a burglar? No, not even allegedly. A convicted burglar working on their home. I'm sorry. And one who can't even pay his child support. A measly $177 a month, as she points out. Remember, this is in Michigan. In Michigan, they have a 10-cent deposit on pop cans.
Is like practical. I think that the court certainly can monitor the payments and make sure they're there and use the jail held in abeyance as a metric to do that. But I also think the court, in looking at some of the history that's outlined here, I mean, Mr. Duchesne will tell you he struggled with alcoholism for a very, very long time. And that bears out in the history. It's what he's on probation for. He's been sober since that time. He dealt with that case. He served some jail time there. And then when he got out, he started his business back up and he's started making money. He started making some payments and making some progress. Some of the payments aren't reflective of what they're indicating there because there's 2 different cases, and some of the payments got directed to other cases by friend of the court as opposed to this matter. But the fact of the matter is, since he got out and was placed on probation, he's been working, he's been making payments. I would caution the court, I think, well, I certainly can understand the position of some upfront jail. I think the practical effect of that is if you impose upfront jail, now when he's released from that in 30, 60 days, whatever the time is, he has to start to rebuild the business. He has to start to catch up bills. And inevitably what winds up happening, I think, is you wind up setting back the payment of getting the child support paid. The recommendation here that calls for holding the jail in abeyance really holds his feet to the fire. He has no excuse to not make the payments. He's telling you here today, he's employed, he's working, he's making money. There's no excuse for him not to do it. And I'd ask the court to give him the opportunity to show that. He's excelled at the probation that he's on right now. This is probably the longest period of sobriety he's had in his adult life, I would guess.
Yes.
He's doing well. And I would ask the court to give him a chance to continue to show that. Because at the end of the day, I mean, what we all want is for the child support to get paid and for it to go to the kids because that's where it's supposed to go. And for it to be used for their betterment. Again, Mr. Duchesne's not going to stand here and defend the actions that he's taken in the past. He's not. He knows he wasn't doing what he was supposed to. But he's making efforts to do that, to do the right things now. And I think the court should take that into account. I would ask the court additionally to consider waiving the court-appointed attorney fee in this matter. Again, I would just rather see as much of the money as we can going to the arrearages and going to the kids.
All right, thank you.
Okay, well, what do we think is going to happen? Hi, Chris. You've come in just at the right time. Make a guess out of nowhere with no information. Jail or free? Those are your choices. Will the judge put him in jail, or will he just give him that probationary period and hold the jail over his head? The reality is, it is tough to feel bad for somebody that obviously found a lot of money for alcohol and I know addiction is I know addiction. It's just, you gotta, even people that are addicts don't all bail out on their kids, you know? So my whole point is I'm leaning towards weekend jail. That's what I want. Okay. Yeah. Here's what I would do if I was the judge. 6 months of weekends in jail to help him with his sobriety and to allow him to work during the week and to make payments. Plus the continued probationary period. There. Now everybody can be happy because it deserves some punishment. It deserves punishment. He is now at a felonious level where the government has had to get involved because he will not take care of his children. That's what this is. This is felonious. He's been convicted. This is a sentencing hearing. He has had a lawyer appointed to him by the government that is paid for by the taxes, probably costing a whole lot more than what his payment would have to be to pay his child support. That's why I think that some jail time should be required. And guess what else? The fact that he has another case that he's not paying on, that he has to pay on, and that the money that he pays gets diverted to, is not her fucking fault. That sounds like a you problem, sir. That sounds like a double up, hustle up problem, sir. Not a, well, that's just the way it is.
Mr. Deshane, anything you wanted to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe what Ms. Ann said is not completely accurate. I don't have one single violent crime on my record. So I believe that her statement gives misinformation to the court, and biasness already gets created before I even get to speak, in a sense. Maybe, maybe not, but I have no violent crimes. I've never had any violent crimes.
He better be fucking right, or else I'm pretty sure they're gonna, why would she not, oh my god. Alright, let's see. Somebody's gonna rip into him here. Why is he even talking? You shouldn't be talking, sir.
So I have been making payments, and okay, well, I want to tell you this. In 2010, because Ms. Metelsky and I tried to be a couple for years. In 2010, I got caught with 14 ounces of weed, and I went on the run. For 8 years, I was gone. I came back here on my own to turn myself in to start this process. I spent a year and a half in jail, or more than a year in jail. Oh no, I didn't. I got a year in jail. Then I got out. I was still drinking. I got another drunk driving. On December 20, or on New Year's Eve of 2023, I finally got sober. It took months for just my head to clear out, just for me to even care about responsibility. So, yeah, I guess I have screwed up a ton, but I'm not the person I was, and I can't fix it. But I am sober. I am on felony probation. This stemmed before that. This was going on before that probation, so it's not like I got put on probation and got in trouble again. That's why I'm not being violated from probation, because this is before that. So all of these things are wreckage of my past, as we were talking about AAA. And it takes time to fix it. Right now, I have some lady's house torn apart in Boyne Falls because all my tools at her house. If I can't complete that job, she could sue me. I'd lose all my stuff. So I can't make the money sitting in jail. And I have been making payments. In the past 90 days, I've paid on my other case and this case, thousands of dollars. I paid $1,000 one month and then turned around and paid another, I forget, $513 in a 17-day period. On my other case, I paid $1,500 and some bucks, and then still made this child support obligation. And then I think the last thing I would like to say is that for Mrs. Ange to say that it was a measly $197, that wasn't what it was for all of these years. We have another daughter that Ms. Metelsky spoke about. My child support was $600. It wasn't $100. So I feel, and I understand that, or I feel like her words were slanderish. Not that I'm not guilty, but I think they were created to create some form of, you know, I don't like the way that she spoke. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that it just displayed who I am today or who I was, because I don't.
Oh, you know what? He's confused, you guys. I feel bad. Nobody explained to him that the lawyer for the state is not on his side. It's her job to point these things out. It's not a personal attack, bro. They're facts that you've admitted to, and they suck. And they're due to your alcoholism. And I'm very proud of you that you are clean and sober right now. That's excellent. But you feel targeted here because you are. They are targeting you in this court case. You are under the microscope. This is perplexing to me. And maybe it's because he wasn't sober for most of the other things that happened in his life, and so they didn't stack in terms of experiences, perhaps, in the same way that things do normally. But his level of, like, disconnect here, and great job if you're paying that much and doing that much, that is awesome. But it's her job to point these things out. You were the one that didn't care much about the pre-sentence report, and then the judge had to basically goad you into reading it. And thank you, Chris. I love this shirt too. It's one of my faves.
I don't have any violent crimes. I'm not a violent person. I was an alcoholic. I was not sober. And I just completed a full year of substance abuse counseling.
Okay. All right. So I did have a chance to review the pre-sentence report. I'm familiar with all the information in that report about your background, your history, and so forth. So I'm fully familiar with all of that. And I take all of that into account, along with certainly what Ms. Metelsky's had to say here today. I think she made some very poignant comments, which I'm going to address a little more in a second. What your attorneys had to say, what prosecutors had to say, what you had to say. You know, the reason why everybody gets to talk is because everybody views things a little differently. And I understand the prosecutor's position. You give me your side of it, I hear Ms. Metelsky's side of it. So everybody gets to give the court what their perspective on this is. These are always really difficult cases for the court to determine what an appropriate resolution is, because the goal here is to get the money paid and get it to the benefit of the children here, which is the whole point of this, going all the way back to the beginning. I can appreciate that you've had some issues in your life that you've been dealing with that have contributed to your problems overall with the law, and you have got a lot of convictions, whether they're violent or not. You've gotten yourself into a lot of trouble over the years. And Ms. Metelsky and your children have had to pay for that as well. You know, when you're talking about your struggles and what you had to go through, she's trying to take care of these kids and do it on her own without any help from you. And if you think it's hard to do that on your own, I suspect it's a heck of a lot harder when you have 2 kids to worry about. So as tough as things were for you, it's hard for me to have any kind of sympathy for you when she's out there trying to raise 2 kids and do it on her own while you're off trying to avoid marijuana charges. So, you know, when you tell me about how difficult things have been for you, it's hard for me to have any sympathy because things were much more difficult on Ms. Witowski than they were for you because you only had to worry about yourself.
Wow, look at all these names. Amazing. Everyone's invited. We're having members only today. It's already scheduled. It's in like 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Yay. Thank you, Iowa. I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's finish this case.
I think, you know, again, it's difficult because what I want is for you to pay this money. I think that's probably what Ms. Witowski wants, to get it to the children so that they can have the benefit of that they haven't had throughout this time. But at the same time, you know, you have amassed quite a record. There's a really strong argument for you doing some time for this and paying some consequences. But I think this is the type of case where, and I get this argument, and I appreciate Mr. Trush's point, but it's always the argument of the defense attorney to keep him out of jail so he can pay, kind of thing. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that with the understanding that if you're not doing that, there really is absolutely no reason for the court not to have you incarcerated. So I am going to place you on probation. I think you should understand, and you probably do, that your guidelines call for up to almost 3 years in prison. And I can tell you that if you're not going to be paying on this child support, as I'm going to order you to as part of your probation, that and you're guilty of violating your probation for not paying, it's not going to be local time. You've been on probation 7 times. You've had 8 jail sentences. So it won't be local time. If you violate your probation and you don't pay on the support like you're supposed to, you'll be going to prison. Because there's no other reason for me not to do it right now, other than to give you one more chance to start making these payments. If you're not going to do that, then there's just absolutely no reason for you to not go to prison. So I hope that is a motivator for you to stay sober, to continue with your business, and to continue making payments, because there's going to be a significant consequence if you fail to do that. So the court is going to follow the recommendation to the extent that we're going to place you on probation for a period of 3 years. The court is going to adopt as the conditions of the probation all the terms and conditions that are listed in the report. The court is going to order restitution in the amount of $25,467.62. That's payable to the friend of the court, be dispersed to Megan Witowski. That's in a monthly amount of $276.50, which breaks down to $177 of present obligation and $99.50 for arrears. The court is going to order a crime victims assessment of $130, court costs of $325, attorney fees of $350, and the $68 state cost. Because the court is ordering this as restitution, any amounts that are paid will go to the child support first before it goes to any of those other amounts that I've just mentioned. And so if at some point, you know, you're getting towards the end, and the only thing that's stopping you from finishing your payments or the attorney fees, as Mr. Trush indicated, I certainly would consider waiving some of those fines and costs if it means that Ms. Metelsky is going to receive the full amount that's due. You do have the ability to, I'm sorry, you have 38 days of jail credit. Now the court's going to hold any jail in abeyance at this time going forward. But you do currently have 38 days of credit. You do have the ability to seek an appeal of the sentence. And Mr. Trush, have you provided those appellate rights to Mr. Deschamps?
I have.
Ms. Davis, you're not the supervising agent. It's be Mr. Brunical. Can you just let Mr. Brunical know that there's violations, we need to get those addressed immediately. There's no leeway on this case for Mr. Deschamps. Ms. Angie, anything further that we need to address for the record today?
Judge, I'm sorry, I didn't hear if you said 2 or 3 years of probation.
3.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Trush, anything further?
Nothing further, thank you.
And Ms. Davis, are you going to talk to Mr. Deschamps about making contact with Mr. Brunical here today?
I am not Agent Brunical.
Okay, so make sure you follow up with Mr. Brunical.
You got my probation officer right
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good luck to you going forward.
Thank
That's
you,
all
Your
for
Honor.
this hearing. Ms. Angie and Ms. Metelsky, you're free to disconnect.
Thank you,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Well, what do you think? Do you think the judge got it right or wrong? In this case, I think he probably did the right thing, but Deb, the judge said that he tacked it on to the end of all the payments. So by the time he pays off $25,000, I really don't think that another $1,000 in fees is going to kill him. And he's probably lucky. I don't know what they do here, but in the state of Texas, they charge 6% per annum on child support debt. And that racks up really fast. It is hard. Like, I find it hard to believe 177 or 2 whatever even manages to like get the interest down. Bob, I know the math doesn't work, and the reason is they're not asking him to pay it all off immediately, but they need to get him started. It's silly, but that's the way it is. They're going to continually monitor this case, I would imagine. Hopefully. Anyways, I hope that everybody has had a wonderful day. We're going to stop now because members only is in half an hour. So I'm going to go grab myself something to eat, a Coca-Cola, and I'll be back with you guys. We have another case to watch during members only. If you're not a member yet, you can become one. It's already set up. So if you would go on over there after this, and we will be back at it again real soon. Like real soon. Thank you guys so much for being here. Do me a favor, remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
Ways down and ready to ride.